Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, last time we returned to the Crystarium and left again. And yeah, we are here in an old church and are to bring a tablet we found here to Y'shtola, among other things. And she is apparently in the Raktika Greatwood or something like that. Ere we depart, there's a custom of a knight's blessed which I feel compelled to elucidate. As one might expect, they deem light to be abhorrent, and everything it touches befouled. Thus do they take the utmost pains to protect all that they can from its taint, including the names. To speak plain, it's the belief of a knight's blessed that one's own name must never be uttered in the light of the everlasting day. Yet this commandment precludeth not the use of another's. Thus do parents protect their children, and in rare cases, masters their disciples. And so it is that Y'shtola has taken the name of Master Matoya. Lest you offend them, I bid you speak not her true name in the Blessed's presence. With that in mind, let us speak with a guard to keep a vigil at the Greatwood's border. And off screen I unlocked flying here in the Lakeland area. I know I have no reason to, but I can't help feeling nervous about meeting Y'shtola. It will be good to see Y'shtola again. I pray we heed mine explanation of a Blessed's customs. It would be ill-advised to provoke their ire. Well met, traveler. What business brings you here? We would like to pass. Yes, of course. Right this way.
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he has walked. The untold stories and secrets of the past can be more alluring than the promise of tomorrow. And so he braves the forests of Raktika in search of mystery and wonder. Of Ronka, to which all seekers of hidden truths are inevitably drawn.
Raktika Greatwood.
We have arrived. Vast though these woods may be, they are, by and large, uninhabitable. Not so the swamps of Cydia, however, whose sparse foliage permitted man a foothold.
Hello, Emmett.
No lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule! Forgive me. A sudden pang of nostalgia for those halcyon days. Exploring virgin territories, subjugating primitive peoples, all for the glory of Garlemald.
If you've brought your ivory standard, I'll be happy to tell you where to stick it.
Can we not simply take a moment to enjoy the view together? Or would you rather I spied on you from the shadows? Much more of this, and I may very well begin to regret my show of good faith.
If you really want to stay, then help us fight.
No, I think not. I am an observer, nothing more. Even shielded by the shadows of these boughs, I feel the light's presence most keenly. To accompany you is taxing enough. To fight is out of the question.
I will suffer your company if I must, but not your commentary.
Alright. Thancred has told me of the Ascians and what they have done. If he isn't willing to help, is it wise to let him stay with us? The question is, can we stop him from sticking around? As he said, he could just continue watching us from the shadows and we would be none the wiser. If he never opened his mouth again, it would be too soon. What is it now? Do you expect me to regale you with friendly banter? Oh, very well. I will humor you this once. You may consider it my latest act of good faith. Come on, then. What do you wish to know? Why choose this from here first? Well, what a curious question. Mortal flesh is but a vessel into which we Ascians pour the elixir of our souls, molding it as fits the occasion. Or not, if we so choose. Be it for a year or a millennium, I prefer to retain the same form until my duty is done. So, after arriving here in the first, I fashioned some hapless body into the man you see before you. Though, as your friend over there can attest, there are those of us who forgo such alterations. He was ever the rash one, Labrea, jumping from vessel to vessel, never heeding the toll it took on him. 'Tis plain our Ascian counterpart meaneth to follow wheresoever we lead, whereas otherwise he would not suffer the overabundance of light in these woods. Verily it pervadeth every corner, and so long as the Lightwarden remaineth, the Sin-Eater shall be free to prey upon these lands without surcease. If naught is done, 'tis but a matter of time before the blessed succumb. 2 years past, a swarm of Sin-Eaters did lay waste unto their largest settlement, killing a great many of their priests in so doing. Though some few did survive, they knew not how to go on. They wrought souls in want of a guiding hand. For mercy, Y'shtola hath provided that which they sorely needed. They have since endeavored to restore their home, and thither shall we bend our steps, to Fort Gone. A tomato? You look mean. Oh, thank you, I have her friends. You just said they are rebuilding, but there's no one here. We both know how Yuanji enjoys painting pictures with his words, but he did not exaggerate about this place. Well, there's this friend of yours we've come to read.
I see little sign of recent activity, nor hath any meaningful progress been made with the reconstruction. Mayhap Y'shtola sought shelter elsewhere. Come, let us quit this place.
Now! Surround them!
Okay.
These senators, they're not like the others.
There's a reason for that. Lower your weapons, please. We mean you no harm.
How is it they can speak?
It's a Sin Eater trick. They mean to kill us all.
No. Please, we're not Sin Eaters.
Perhaps they speak the truth.
Oh, for the love of... I had hoped that by accompanying you, we might come to understand one another. But all I have come to understand is that you have a knack for inflaming the natives. You've committed the cardinal sin of boring me. And so, I retire to the shade. Good luck.
There! Did you see that one disappear?
I think I preferred La Habrea.
Enough. Runard, report.
Master Matoya! We apprehended them as you ordered, but are you certain these are Sin Eaters?
The intense light of the ether I saw was unmistakable. If not Sin Eaters, then what?
'Tis passing queer that Y'shtola should mistake us for the enemy, is it not? Mayhap it hath been too long since last she beheld the radiance of thine ether. Master Matoya, hath time truly made strangers of us?
Nay, I recognize you, Urianger, Thancred. And this is Minfilia of the First, of whom you spoke before.
Just so. And knowing as thou must that we come in peace, might I prevail upon thee to have thy comrades lower their arms?
First explain this other presence in your company. The one I know not. There is but one manner of creature in this world whose ether is suffused with such an abundance of light.
Mine apologies, Master Matoya, but thou art mistaken. Before thee standeth our dearest comrade, the truest hero among us. Though she is but recently arrived here in the First, not one but two Lightwardens have already perished by her most puissant hand.
It cannot be.
You truly fought me as Sin Eater?
Master Matoya?
Lower your weapons. Forgive us this hostile welcome. Come, I would give you a proper introduction to Raktika and its people.
But she should imagine her a stranger. That ended a lot better than it might have. No thanks to MX Silk. I didn't expect her to be so imposing in person. You have been busy since arriving in the first, I gather, but I would hear the tale of your travails in more suitable surroundings. With Fort Gone yet to be rebuilt, the Knights Blessed have made their home in a settlement to the northeast. I will await you at its entrance. Follow the path through yonder gate, and you will find me soon enough. There you are. I was beginning to worry. Much like a torso, this forest has a way of dealing with those who stray too far from the beaten path. But I digress. Let me show you the home of the Knights Blessed. Make their home here, and so swiftly. It would surely have required no small amount of ingenuity. A most impressive feat, would Stone not agree? Finally, a place to rest. Have you ever seen such a tree? To think these are only the roots. I can't. Here, right? This is a route.
Slitherbow is the largest of the blessed settlements. They worship no gods, instead revering darkness itself. It is a curious kind of faith, but one which has granted them the strength to persevere in the wake of the flood. I hope you weren't expecting a grand feast by way of welcome. They are a simple people. Now, I would hear of your travels away from prying ears. Come.
Storytelling.
I see. And now you seek the Lightwarden of Raktika. In the days after I arrived in the First, I too relied upon the Crystal Exarch for guidance. But his penchant for secrecy and the telling of half-truths soon lost him my trust. And thus did I strike out on my own. My work eventually led me here to the forest, which I have come to know like the back of my hand. I cannot say with certainty where your quarry is hiding, but I am confident I can narrow the search.
Well, go on then.
Some few thousand years ago, this forest stood at the heart of the Empire of Ronka. A great many relics of that civilization can still be found to the east in Ixmaya. Or rather, could be found, were the area not fiercely guarded. Ixmaya, you see, is home to a tribe of warriors whose lineage is said to date back to the time of the Empire. Any attempt to enter their territory is met with lethal force. They offer no warnings, and suffer no trespasser to escape. Needless to say, my every attempt to survey the area has been thwarted.
Mayhap the Warden hideth there, full knowing none may approach it for fear of these protectors.
As for the tablet, I find the timing of its discovery suspiciously convenient. If I did not know better, I would think someone was trying to curry favor with me. Regardless, it will take time to decipher these writings. Yet I would not be at all surprised if they somehow held the key to entering Ixmaya unmolested. The Exarch has a nose for serendipity.
If there is aught I can do to assist thee in unraveling their secrets, thou needst only ask.
Thank you, Urianger. I may well take you up on that offer. While we set to work, might I suggest you take a tour of the city? Should you be in any doubt as to the importance of your role as the Warrior of Darkness, the people here will surely cure you of it.
I must say, Ishtola, while most of us have struggled to come to terms with our altered circumstances, you seem to have adapted rather well.
Lest you forget, Master Matoya and I dedicated our lives to uncovering the truth which hides at the heart of our world. Though separate, the fate of this reflection is nevertheless bound to that of our home. That I would be daunted by such an invaluable opportunity is absurd. But what of you, Thancred? Could it be that you are still struggling to come to terms with the nature of your young companion?
My struggles are none of your concern. Quite why you would speak thus and in this company, I do not know. Perhaps you left more of yourself back in the source than I assumed. If you'll excuse me.
He understands that I'm not the same. That I'm not her.
Understands, perhaps, but does not accept. The question being whether he ever will. And whether you will, more importantly. As difficult as your circumstances may be, they are yours, not his. 'Tis you and you alone who bears ultimate responsibility for your life. But you need not make any hard choices now. Why not go and get some fresh air, clear your head?
Oh. Yeah, the situation with Minfilia is rather complicated. I wish I'd never... When Y'shtola first arrived in the first, he made swift work of a cabinet of curiosity. Her first, yet unsated, she went journeyed hither seeking the wisdom of Ronka. She found little in the way of welcome from the Blessed, however. It was not until the Great Fire where she denied the Sin Eaters a feast of Aether she gained their trust. Since then have I served as liaison betwixt Silverbow and the Crystarium, but she might be kept abreast of the others' efforts. Quickly go and take the Aetherite before I forget. I'm not indifferent to Thancred's troubles. Nevertheless, I will not apologize for holding him to a higher standard after all these years. He has ever been a man of considerable resolve, and that is what I will continue to expect. But it heartens me to know that some of us remain ourselves in spite of our present circumstances. I can but imagine how Aliza and Alvinor have changed since arriving here in the First. Change is part of life, we can but hope it's changed for the better. You're right, and after my untoward remarks to Thancred, no doubt he thinks I changed for the worst. I will have to speak with him later. Returning to the matter at hand, I really must begin work on deciphering these tablets. In the meantime, perhaps you should take a look around Silverbow. If there's anything you need, pray speak with Runa at the plaza. Welcome, friend, welcome. My apologies for a less than hospitable greeting earlier. Tell me, what's your name? From where do you hail? From the Crystarium, I see. This tablet you brought may help us find the Lightwarden here in Raktika? Well, you're welcome to stay with us as long as you need. Come, let us show you around. Would it be alright if I joined you? Of course, of course. Anything for the guests of our dear Master Matoya. Thank you. She means a great deal to the Knights Blessed, doesn't she? If not for her, we may have all perished in the Great Fire. With our priests slain and our home in ruins, we were at the mercy of the Sin Eaters. It was she who drove them back, and with her sage guidance we were able to rebuild. Before long, she became a central figure in our community, a great oak within whose shadow many have come to find solace. That's not to say there were not those hesitant to grant an outsider such authority, myself included. Perhaps it's the smile in her eyes when she speaks of a sunless sea. I feel whole again, now that she's with us, and I have no doubt the others feel the same. She is as much a part of the Knight's Bless as any of us, and we are grateful for all she does in service to the Dark. But you did not hear this from me, yes? Now, you should know there are certain customs we ask guests to adhere to, so long as they reside within Silverbow. To show reverence to the Dark? In a word, yes, but fear not, it's not too involved. Let's begin with something simple. Follow me. I thought Master Matoya kept her room dark because she didn't need the light. But they're all like hers, aren't they? Should you see any of our people come to this chamber, they are likely returned from a journey beyond the borders of Raktika. We use the water stored here to cleanse ourselves of the light's impurity. A simple and perhaps peculiar custom, but it's one of our most important. Would you two kneel for a moment that I might rid you of the light's impurity? As Luna lightly sprays you with water, your skin begins to tingle. With that, you have been cleansed of a light's blighted touch. How do you feel? I'm not sure, to be honest. Not refreshed exactly, but I do feel different. Has this water been treated in some way? Only blessed by our priests. They are practiced in the arcane arts. As such, it is said their prayers imbue the water with a faint, dark magic. A prickling sensation. No one has ever spoken of such a reaction before. I wouldn't say it's an unpleasant sensation, but I too felt something strange. The dark aspect in this water should have no discernible effect unless... By the gods, Master Montoya was right. You are sin eaters. I jest. What you felt was likely no more than the chill of the water. Perhaps now would be a good time for you to acquaint yourself with the people of Sliverbow. For that I must teach you a customary greeting. Alin Tuta. Alin Tuta. In the language of Ronka, it's one of several ways one might say good evening. The world is not as safe as it once was, and this greeting lets us quickly discern friend from foe. Is there a handshake or a gesture we should know too? I would hate to offend anyone. You need not worry. Merely speak the words Alin Tuta, and they will know you as friends of the blessed. I will await your return here. Now go. They are like to be heartened by your knowledge of our ways. I think I end the episode here, and we greet the other people next time. Until then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.